gets kind of gnarly.
Cool.
So yeah, what's the news though? You said you got some rankings, and then what happened?
Yeah, well, basically, I started ranking for a couple of keywords, and over the last week, after I sort of, implemented, I guess, fixing up. Firstly, I went through all my content. Um, I just got someone off like Fiverr to do the site speed optimization.
Hmm.
So we try to get that down, in terms of speed. What else do we do? I was looking into doing the schema, but I still got a couple more things to do, like the canonical tags. I probably should do the old tags and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's where I'm up to with things, but at least I'm sort of getting, traffic coming in.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah,
So like off the original roadmap, like how much of it's done?
so I have to sort of double check. I'd say, I think before we were on, now I'd say at least a quarter. But even after I've only changed a quarter, like there's been so much improvement. Um, we could
Okay.
probably, I don't know, maybe. What do you want to do?
I mean, I'm probably more interested in like just talking to you about like what you're like currently like struggling with.
Eh? Um, yeah, in terms of, I guess, things that I wanted to ask you about. In terms of, yeah, like I guess doing the canonical tags on my website, I haven't really looked into it, so it's not something I can't say I'm struggling with it, but I haven't looked into it, if you like. And I guess the schema thing as well. My website's already got organization set onto it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Trying to get rid of that. I don't know. Maybe you'd be able to look at it and point out a couple of things that.
Yeah, it was pickedentertainment.com.au, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pull up the roadmap. Um, and see where I'm at with things. Anyway.
Okay. Were you doing the roadmap on like Google Docs, or was it were you doing it like just within your like saved files on your computer?
We went through it. We went through it, but here, let me just pull something up. Should be here still. With me. That where we saved it. So, here we go. Yeah, because last time we couldn't even, we could barely sort of get through it. Cool. Yeah. What do you want me to do? Pull up the roadmap?
Yeah, if you want to, well, let's see. I'll just run through it and see what you're doing. So let me just go look
Okay.
at what's being indexed right now. So you're still including all your business names in most of the titles, not all of them, but in a
Let's have a
lot
look.
of them. It's not that big of a deal, but can I see your search console and your Google Analytics? I don't know if I still have them or not.
I don't think I got rid of you. So
Okay, let's see if I can find them.
yeah, yeah.
Can't remember what property. I think it was this one. It's not in here. What was the property called? Was it
It
under?
should, it should be picked entertainment, shouldn't it? Do you want me to try? I'll go back into mine and see if I can add you.
Yeah, maybe. I don't see it in here. Unless it was under a different account.
Cool. But where do I head to do that? It's is it user and property owners? It says it's I am at
analytics
Chase.
admin, and then I'm at Chase Center. That's the one you added. Okay, so then you should have it. I don't know what account you have it under though. Is it under? Let's see. No.
Yeah, so I am at Chase. Do you want me to delete you and then add you again?
Hold on, let me see. It might be under one of these weird.
Oh wait, are you saying analytics? I don't think we. I thought we were talking about search. Wait, search console.
Oh, did you not give me analytics?
No, we didn't do that last time.
Do you have analytics yet?
Yeah, I should have it. I don't. We can go to that.
It's kind of good to have both.
Yeah, I've got analytics. I haven't had the chance to look into it much, but I can get you on it as well.
Yeah. Oops, wrong one.
It is. So where are we going for this one? We go to add someone.
It's the same account. Okay, it definitely looks like it's picking up, which is good.
Yeah, it's picking up. It's going alright, which is yeah. I'm happy with it so far. Like for the amount of work I put in, it's pretty awesome. Trying to find.
But
so I'm on analytics. What was the button that I need to press? Do I go manage accounts? Is it or admin at the bottom?
it should be admin, and then it should be like add or remove accounts, something like that.
It would be maybe user management. What's that? Here we go. Here we go.
Okay, so you have homepage, services, photo booth, hire page, services, event photography, and then birthday photography 21st. Receiving like all of the traffic. And then anything after that's kind of low.
Yeah, I've still got a bit of work.
Yeah, so in terms of those pages, let's go look at it. Did you do any of the benchmarking stuff I was telling you about?
I'm still I don't think I'm at that. I'm still at the point I need to sort of fix up. Like this needs way more content. I'm still sort of going through learning the other sort of stuff, but yeah.
The text looks really light here on some of the pages. It's kind of hard to read. You might want to make that a little bit bigger. Yeah, I really do want to see the analytics at this point. Did you send them to me?
Email. I'm
at chaserender.com. Yeah.
So you can add delete users. No. So okay, that should be cool.
Did you get it?
Should be good.
Okay. Let me go into there. Got it. Okay, so first of all, in here, you need to set up linking so that your Search Console and your Google Analytics share data so that you can export this data as benchmark data. I'm going to see if I can do it right now. I think I just did it. Hold on. We got somebody in the comments asking a question. He said, I want to ask a question. Not sure what he's asking though. I don't know what's going on. I just apparently linked it. Now it's not responding. Oh, you gave me partial access, huh? Or no? What the hell?
Yep, full access.
Search Console landing pages, set it up. Oh, you do not have access to the account property review contact. Okay, so apparently you have to do it. So basically what you do is you go into acquisition, all Search Console, landing pages, and then you press the setup Search Console data sharing.
So landing pages. See if I can just edit. Hey, try it one more time. I just gave you like manage users access as well. So go.
Well, I think I have
time,
to. I think I have to have access to both accounts. If you go into analytics though and just go to all traffic, source medium, or sorry, Search Console landing pages, you can do it.
So I'm going to acquisition, Search Console, landing pages. Yep.
Yep.
Set up Search Console.
Yeah.
Cool. So what do we got? Settings. Okay, what are we doing here? So HTTP. Now manual tagging UTM values. Do I do that?
No.
It just that's pretty much. Is that pretty much it? Just
Yeah, it should work.
All right, there we go. Save. All right, let me know if that went.
And wait for it. Still asking me to do it, but I think it should be going pretty soon here.
By linking your analytics property to Search Console, add.
Did you do it already or no?
Pretty sure I did, but let's have a look. Try that. Add site. Yeah, that should be good.
There we go. Okay. So as you can see here, we're not going to get the data populated for a while, I don't think, because you have to let it run now, like with the data sync. But here you would be able to export all the stuff that you'd want to see in terms of the benchmark data for Search Console. In terms of analytics, we can go into behavior, site content, landing pages, and this would give us a pretty good idea what our organic traffic looks like in terms of a user experience perspective, which is somewhat helpful. If we go into here, so again, this is where you're getting all your traffic. This is where you're getting all your conversions on the home page, getting a few conversions from some of the other pages, like the event photography. And then the bounce rates are all pretty decent except for the contact page, which is really high for some reason.
I mean, I don't know how accurate that is because, like, I mean, for the photo booth high, I'd say, you know, I'm getting a lot of How does that work?
Well, that's just the pages they convert on, that they land on. I think if we go to all pages, it'll show us, or content drill down, I mean. Actually, no, it's only landing page. It means, I think that if they hit this page and then they convert on that page, you know, or they convert on the home page after viewing that other page, it just means that they don't directly convert on that first page. But yeah, one of the things that I would say you probably want to do is, one, start mapping out, like we talked about before, sort of the averages you want to hit with each URL.
Yep.
If we look at the analytics stuff first, let me export this. Actually, let me just go over here. Position, Search Console, landing pages. We can export this. Let's grab all these URLs. I I don't have your template, but if we were just to go to like an example template.
Yep.
Oops. I don't know why, but if you drag a new document into Google Sheets, it like doesn't. Oh, there we go. Okay, so if we go into here, where is it? Keyword benchmark, and we take the URLs first, plug them in, and then we take your metrics that we were looking at here, plug those in. So conversion rates actually need to go right there. Whoops. I don't know what the deal is with these templates. You can't like copy and paste and have the conditional formatting work. Whatever, I'll just do it manually. Okay, so we do green. Whoops. So weird, dude. Like, if you use conditional formatting on these sheets, it works the first time you paste it, but it won't work the second time you paste it. So you have to paste it only once. Bring that over like that. What? Do you see this? It's so weird, dude. Like if I just paste it like this, watch. Whoops. Whoops. Of course. Okay. I'm just gonna have to copy these in like that, unfortunately. I can't even paste it anymore. It literally won't even let me do it. It's giving me this weird paste values only. No. Paste format only. Okay, so now that's not working either. Whatever, dude. I don't even care. The point is if the conversion rate's under 3%, you need to work on it. But
are they? I can't see it in the screen.
Huh?
The conversion, yeah, except for the top one.
Did you double click on my video?
Double click on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it full screen.
Okay. Oh my god.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. And then for the Search Console stuff, what we would do is we just go export them one by one. So like for instance, the home page, if that's going for, let's just say your main keyword is based off here. Well, actually your home page is only getting clicks for your brand, so that's kind of odd. You might want to do retargeting with your home page, or I mean not retargeting, but like figuring out.
Still haven't worked out like what in terms of the homepage. I haven't really worked on the homepage, but what to sort of rank it for, because they've got all those different. Obviously, as you saw before, you've got the the 21st birthday hire ranking, the photo booth hire ranking, but the homepage isn't really ranking for anything except for its own name. So
Right.
Yeah,
it's because your homepage isn't relevant enough to rank for anything like under the actual keywords you want to go for, which is a problem because your homepage should be actually the page that should be ranking for your main keyword. But if you look at this homepage, dude, like to me, one, the text is way too small on this website. Cool. You need to make that bigger. And then step two, you need to figure out why also you're not really doing internal linking until all the way down here. It probably should be a little bit higher. I guess it's not that big of a deal. But this to me looks it looks like there's just a lot of content on it, but it doesn't really have as much of, like, I know all the content you have on here probably has a purpose, but it doesn't really look like there's much of a purpose, just because it's not really formatted in the sense that, like, you're targeting like one theme for this homepage. Like, you got Melbourne's favorite all around DJ hire, photo booth entertainment gurus, event photographer, Melbourne based videographer, and then entertainment company. But really it should be more something like this, where you're doing like, boom, main keyword again, talking about the related locations that you're in, where you're actually located, your reviews for your service, and then the related things within that architecture, like you probably already have in there, with internal links going to those main services, like the ones that you're already ranking.
Yeah. In terms of main keyword, though, like, that's what I haven't really figured out.
Yeah, but that's why.
Do you see?
But that's what I was saying on the first time we met, that you need to map this stuff out, because if you don't, what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up not understanding why these certain things are ranking. And I mean, if anything, like, you know, you already have these other pages ranking as sub pages. It's not that big of a deal, but it's usually your homepage that should be ranking. And then your targeting should only be around that keyword for, or that like theme for that specific page. So if we look at, like, for instance, it makes it a little bit easier for a page that you already have ranking, because I can show you like why it's ranking. Let's go to this page, service booth photo hire. Now, if we look at queries, we can actually see in here that photo booth hire is your top keyword here. Now, it's got 1,192 impressions, 2.43% click-through rate, average position 18. If you look at photo booth hire Melbourne, 581, 2.58% click-through rate, average position 31. Now, because you're local, this is actually going to be your main keyword. This just happens to be what people are typing in your area, and then it happens to be localized because of this. So this would actually be your main keyword. So we'd click into that, and then what we would do is these are the metrics we would pull. So we'd have the keyword map, which is for wherever the hell it went, photo services photo booth hire. So that would be the URL. And then you'd have your keyword, which is photo booth hire Melbourne. And then you'd have your search volume, which will just say some random number like 500. Then you'd have the date that you're benchmarking this, keeping track of when you're, you know, doing these optimizations or whatever. And then you'd have all of your stuff from Search Console. So your impressions currently are 581, which they are going up, which is a good sign. It means that, you know, this is a page that's working out for you. And it's in the green, meaning that it's above 200. 15 clicks. Click-through rates at 2.4. So you could do click-through rate optimization on that. Anything that's below 3%, you can boost. And then the average position is 18, which obviously means you need to work, or at least, sorry, 31. But we're going to take the last day that we saw it ranking, which is 819, and the position was at 18, number 18. So you're actually currently ranking number 18 for this right now. So if we look at you know, what you need to do for that specific page, I don't know why my conditional formatting never works, but if it did, you would see that this is actually supposed to be red, because again, something that you can optimize, less than or equal to 3. And the clicks are, you know, pretty low overall for the main keyword. Anything below 20 for a main keyword is generally not that good. So less than or equal to 20. Whoops, sorry. Darn it. Why do you do this to me? There we go. And then as far as your other stuff, like this would be the other stuff you'd look at. This isn't the exact page, but if we looked at it here, let's just go to landing pages. or sorry, behavior, site content, all pages. And we are sorting by organic traffic, and we look at services, photo booth hire. You can see you got a bounce rate 58%, average time on page 301. So all of the analytics based metrics seem pretty good, which is why it's probably performing pretty well. So you could put all of those, you know, in here as well, and you would see that those would be pretty much all greens. Now let's go check GT metrics. So we'll check GT metrics and we'll see what the page speed is. We'll go like that, GT metrics, go like that. Sergio asks if I can do live notifications somehow. If you click the bell icon on YouTube, you'll get live notifications. Dean, you never said hi to the YouTube people, by the way.
Hey, what's going on, SEO bros?
Actually, yeah, you did at the beginning, huh?
I didn't see the comments. I'm just
Holy shit. Look at that. That's going to be... Huh?
Oh, why is that so slow? I fixed that up.
I don't know, man.
You're in...
It's lagging out.
I'm pretty sure it was like 5 seconds or something. It wasn't 10.
I don't know, man.
Oh, well. Man, I was watching your SEO guide and saw that there was a live session. Yeah, what's up? And look at all these SEO pros. What he's got? Leave it. Say, what is up, guys?
All right, so 8.7 on this page as well. So that's one thing where it's like already, you know, okay, that's something that I could seriously improve. 8.7. And then if we start looking at the content averages, do you have the benchmarker app that I came out with?
The rank chaser.
Yeah, do you have that thing?
Yeah, I got that.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you got it. I remember. Okay. So, yeah. So, I mean, obviously you'd pull all the averages in here as well, and then use the conditional formatting to see if the averages are met. The thing above that, though, is, like I said, like creating a map of all the keywords that you want to rank for with the search rates next to them, and then making sure that not just this stuff's met, like all the averages that you want to hit, but also are the themes corresponding. Like, is this right here how the layout looks like for the first 10 pages on, let's say, Google for those keywords? So if we do photo booth hire Melbourne, and we see that, you know, everybody else has similar layouts, see, like that's a homepage ranking, right? So that's already... Why do all of the text look so small on these websites? Is it just me? No, not this one. That one looks better. Okay. Yeah, the cool thing too, man, is you could put service markup on here, which would be a really good idea. So
get the markup that we got on it.
You have markup on this page right now?
On that one in particular, I just used what's it, JSON LD?
Yeah.
Yes, I just went through that. It's still good. The website came with organization markup, and I don't know how to ditch that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think
well, you have entertainment business, which you have 2 of these. You need to get rid of one of those, and you don't want them on every page, just one on your home page. But this page right here doesn't have service markup. I would put this as a surface markup, and then put what's it called? Your reviews in here, like your different testimonials in here. Because that's going to add, or just for this specific service, you should mark up each individual page. But yeah, at the end of the day, like what you're really hoping to see is something sort of like this, where it's like super comprehensive layout of like making sure that you're like trying to minimize those red bars as much as possible. So if we go into like one of our clients, I'll just use this person as an example. You can see like based off the benchmark, really where these people are at, because we have the website URL and then the specific thing mapped to it that URL wants to rank for, the search volume, the date that we took note of where they were ranking and like all their metrics. So average position 2, 164 clicks, 39% click-through rate, and all their metrics look pretty good. They're above the averages, and overall, you know, they're doing pretty well. Now, if these people still weren't ranking for that keyword, after all of these averages are met and like everything is going well, like page speed is optimal, internal link counts are doing well, stuff like that, then I would start making sure that, you know, the layout is like what people actually want to see. And then that all the other technical needs are met. I haven't gone through and done like a complete re-audit of your website yet, because I don't know if you met all the technical things that need to be met in order for this site to rank. I'm assuming since you're ranking on the first page for one of your keywords, it probably has for the most part. But just from looking at it, it seems to me that the content you have on here is at least the targeting is kind of spread out, meaning that your homepage isn't really targeting anything, but then you have like 3 pages that are targeting things really well, and then the rest of your pages aren't really doing anything except kind of just being there. Which, huh?
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, which is fine. But the point is that the best thing you could do really is at least try to map out like 10 or 20 pages with all your main keywords for those pages. Try to get at least 10 or 20 service-based pages ranking plus your homepage plus whatever else, at least on the first page. And then once you get to that point, then I would probably just focus more on like, or at least not even, you don't even have to like try to get them to rank, but at least put the basic optimizations you need in to meet the averages we're talking about. Like the page speed, that's super big, you know, making sure that you're internally linking to your main pages within whatever's being mapped, that kind of stuff. And then I would start driving like massive Cornerstone content. So like start doing like tip-based posts, which is like taking your main subject and then doing like tips like around it, which are going to be like, huh?
Go back to my blog post now. Can you go back to my blog?
Yeah.
If you go about us under that blog, is that what you're talking about? Like all like tip-based posts like that.
So top 5, no, you want to do like top 50. Like okay. This kind of content, I literally like anytime I see this that people have, like I always like throw it immediately in the garbage. Not because it's not like good, but also, huh?
Okay.
Just because like when you look at this stuff, I mean, think about this. How many people are going to be writing the top 5 things in the next, you know, year or two? Probably like 1 million people are going to write top 5 lists. If you look at like how many people are going to write like a top 50 list or a top 100 list, you're going to see like a significant decrease. So what you're creating is you're creating something that's not normal, and anything that's not normal in terms of quality where it goes up, you end up getting extreme, generally extreme like good benefits from that. So like a good example is like the fishing thing. I used to work for this fishing company. I didn't work for them. I didn't do fishing or anything, but I did a blog post for them, and we did like 38 tips for them around fishing because we knew that was like their main subject. And they're ranking for like a bunch of random stuff that has nothing to do with like their actual blog post. Like their blog post is like top fishing tips for beginners, but the things they're ranking for are like halibut fishing, like a bunch of random stuff. And so the point of what I'm trying to say is that you could easily follow a similar layout and build a bunch of authority to your site, and start ranking as like a niche around a certain subject, or, you know, as an entity around your niche, then instead of like spending a bunch of time trying to build backlinks or whatever you're going to need to do to generate that same amount of authority for your main pages once you map them out. I would really consider hiring a content writer if you don't have one already.
Yeah, okay.
And I would first of all map out your top 20 pages, literally just go into Search Console, reset these pages, go grab the top 20, and like pretty much just figure out what you want to do with the other 75 that are being indexed. Because again, none of these are getting any traffic. These testimonials, these portfolio pages, none of this stuff. So you want to delete it or 410 it or no index, whatever. Then you're going to keep your existing pages, top 20, whatever. Map out your keywords. Again, you still have tag pages being indexed. So, or you, I guess you don't anymore, but take your top 20, figure out what you want to map those keywords to, even the homepage. If you want to map the homepage to be photo booth hire, then you're going to have to figure out what you're doing with this page. But at least in that case, now you know what you're doing with both these pages. I know you probably don't know what to do with this homepage because you just don't know what to rank it for, but that's not an excuse not to map something to it. Like you have to put something there and come up with because otherwise you're going to do all this internal linking throughout the site and you're never going to link back to the homepage with the correct anchor text that this page needs to rank for.
Yeah, that's the problem, you know. But I gotta get that going. Cool. All right. Yeah, plenty to. Yeah.
And then some other stuff would be to then map out your new keywords based on either tip-based posts, which I would highly recommend, like really big cornerstone piece of content that nobody's going to like want to write, because that's generally the easiest content to rank. And then also your like new service-based type pages. I don't know if you have more than this, but you could try to rank for certain things. Like let's say you wanted to do like top 30 events in Melbourne or something and be like known as the site that like talks about that location. I don't know. It really depends. It comes down to you. But if I were you, like I said, I'd probably hire some sort of content writer to be able to create list-based posts, because with list-based posts, you can continually add to them. Like say for instance, you write 50 tips. You're going to really like watch what happened. When I first started my White Hat SEO article, before I was able to rank on the first page for White Hat SEO, and again, this is without link building, I literally just wrote out like 60 tips. And filter this. This was after changing this page a bunch of times. I started ranking for like White Hat SEO techniques 2018. And then what I did is I kept adding to it. I added like 30 more tips, and it actually wound up boosting it and then ranking it for White Hat SEO after that. And then it ranked for a bunch of other random stuff like SEO tips, White Hat SEO, SEO techniques, like all these different things, like crazy amount of things. Look at this, one click for like 100 different types of keywords. And this article's not even, you know, doing that well right now. Like I actually took out like half the content because I just didn't want it in there because half of it wasn't mine. It was like other people's content. And so
So look at that. It looks nice.
Yeah. So the point is though, is that you get all this data around your main subjects, and you can start pulling that into like either relaunching that content to more. So the way you should do SEO, in my opinion, is target the hardest keyword that you can target first. Like let's say White Hat SEO, and then make it some sort of tip-based thing like tips. Launch that out with like 50 or 100 tips, and then wait like a month or two, see how it ranks, see all the things it starts ranking for semantically, and then go for something that you know is kind of easy.
Okay.
And then once you have some sort of long tail targeting, like let's say White Hat SEO 2018 and that ranks, because that's a lot easier to rank for than just the keyword White Hat SEO, then you can add even more content, more hyper targeting, like whatever that is. And generally you'll start even ranking higher for the other subject, and then you can re-optimize to that other subject. The funny thing is most people will only optimize their content like once. But if you look at the people who are really killing it in SEO, most of them optimize their content or relaunch it like 5 times before it ends up ranking.
Okay.
Brian Dean's a great example of somebody who does that. Like he'll literally, like when he first wrote his keyword research article, I think it was like on page like 3 or 4 or something, and then he relaunched it like twice, and he's now ranking on like on the first page for keyword research, because he literally just keeps adding more and more content, more tips and more stuff to his content over and over.
That's I was thinking, I had this other idea. I'm not sure if it's the way to go. So if you go back onto my website, you don't really need to, but you know how we are sort of ranking for that photo booth hire tab currently. Bad idea to make subcategories off that as well. So talking about pricing, locations, and all that sort of stuff, or you can generally do that on that page. Like what could you recommend for that?
Well, I mean, the page is already performing pretty well from what I'm seeing within your analytics. I mean, the conversion rates, I think, are somewhat... You're talking about the, what was it, the event for the photo booth hire page?
Yeah, go on the service at the top. See, I've got sort of like the event photography going off to so 2 different tabs. Would it be a bad idea to go photo booth hire and then go photo booth hire pricing in Melbourne or Geelong or somewhere else, like to make
I
it
wouldn't
sort of targeted?
I wouldn't try to reinvent the wheel, man. I'd literally just go to Ahrefs, type in your top competitor who's ranking, and then the other 4 competitors that are ranking, and then just pull the pages that they're ranking, copy that layout, and put it on your site. Like, don't directly copy it, but like copy it very similar. The way I was able to rank my computer repair website back in the day was by taking the top person that was ranking it and basically studying the hell out of everything that they did. And then I copied like a similar layout. I copied all of the URLs mapped. I copied all of the freaking how the internal links were matching to the pages. And I figured out how they were working Google. And I didn't just do it with that one website. I did it with multiple websites, because just because somebody's doing it well doesn't mean that they're not missing a bunch of stuff. So like I would take somebody who's doing well, I would copy their stuff, and then I would copy what other people are doing well as well. And the best way to do that, like watch, if I wanted to rank for like everything that Brian Dean was ranking for, I would go to backlinko.com on SEMrush or Ahrefs, and I would go through all of their content by looking at the organic keywords, and I would look and see what are they doing to rank this stuff. I would go, okay, for this keyword research article, he's ranking for keyword research. Looks like this is going to be a massive skyscraper article, and I'm going to need to put a lot of formatting, a lot of like, you know, design. It's just probably going to cost me a good amount of money to do. Is it worth doing? Maybe, right? But the thing is that at the end of the day, if you're not investing in content, which is really the currency of the future in terms of SEO and online marketing, then you're going to be left in the dust by everybody else who is. So you have to figure out what your content strategy is. If you can't tell me what your homepage is ranking for or any of this other stuff, and you're working all on this technical SEO, well, you're better off getting a job doing SEO. Like, you know, I'm serious. Like, and we even talked about this. I mean, you might be interested in like even working for me. But the point is, though, is that if you're going to be doing this stuff, maybe you want to do both. Maybe you like SEO. But as an SEO, you need to look at the other side of the spectrum, which is also that content is the #1 reason why you're ranking. It's not because of links. It's not because of your title tags. It's because you have content. If you have a page with no content on it, it's just a blank page, and it has a title tag, you're not going to rank it unless it's for some weird Arabic term, like, or whatever, something weird.
Okay, cool. Sense.
Huh?
That definitely makes sense what you're sort of saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I were you, like I said, I would map them out again, keywords, figure out if it's something that you can fix, whether as an SEO or if it's something to do with content, because you want to separate the two. If it's something that you can fix as an SEO, it's going to be within these metrics. It's going to be within what you see in Search Console or what you see within analytics. If all your analytics looks good, meaning that you have, you know, really good conversion rates, and again, only a few of your pages were converting, everything else wasn't. You need to figure out why. Maybe it's because you need to put call to actions above the fold. Maybe it's because you need to be more clear with what you're selling. Who knows? And then if you look at like your averages for your URLs, and you see that only 3 pages are getting like, you know, above 20 clicks per month, you need to figure out, okay, why? Is that something to do with content, or does that have to do something with analytics? If your content is good, then generally your analytics will be good. So if you have good analytics, even if you have only 5 people visiting, you know that you can add more content, rank it higher, and you're good to go. If you look at this stuff right here and you see that your conversion rates are no good, your GT, your speed, page speed's bad, your pages per session are bad, then you know that there's probably something that you need to fix first as an SEO, and then go to the content side. So it's really just more about prioritizing what you're doing and then figuring out whether or not you're going to be doing it or whether somebody else is going to be doing it. But if you're going to be doing all of this stuff, it's going to take you a really long time, and it'll be a lot easier if you started hiring people to help you like produce the type of content that you need to put out there. Because honestly, like if you could even just spend like, let's say $20 an article, you put 5 articles out there and only one of them ends up hitting, it's still better than if you're to go out to, or just be spending all your time optimizing this stuff and doing what you should be doing, which is the optimizations instead of doing the content. Because if you're doing both, it's going to take you forever. You know what I'm saying?
Say, man, that's a problem. Like already, I haven't had time, you know, to actually sit down and work on, you know, half the SEO because I'm sitting there writing the content, and that just takes a shit ton of time.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that if you're going to be doing it, then you should either be doing SEO or you should be doing content, or you should be running your business, right? That's why people hire either content writers or SEOs, because they want to run their business. But if you're trying to do all three, the best thing that you could do is figure out where you make the most money, which is, say it's from your business. Do that as much as possible, and then use that money to help propel whatever else you're trying to do, whether it's some sort of hobby, whether it's some sort of, like, let's say, new business, like you want to get into SEO, whatever it is. You need to take your main source of income and then use that to help fuel your new, like, whatever side thing that you're doing. Because one thing somebody told me or I heard one time was the amount of money you get paid is based on the complexity of the situation you solve. So if you solve something really easy, you don't make that much money, because people who can solve easy problems are like many other people. But if you're like unlike many other people, meaning that you can solve something that's very difficult, people will pay you a lot of money to figure that out. So what you do,
That's a good way to.
so what you do is you find people who can do something that everybody else can do, and you don't participate in any of that, because you don't want to be spending your time doing something that everybody else can do if you already know how to do it. You need to be spending your time figuring out what it is that you can do that nobody else can do, or at least where you can start putting money into having people help you so that you can do the more important things so that you can continue scaling. If I spent all of my time in my SEO agency in the last like year and a half doing all the SEO, I would have never really gotten anywhere besides like maybe a paycheck. But the thing is, at the end of the day, money is just a number. And if you don't know how to apply money to the fact that you need to use it for your own personal growth, then you're going to end up, like I said, you know, looking at this site with all your time being spent on content and doing SEO and never getting anywhere, where there's like hundreds of other people, you know, in your same business that are making a lot more money or doing whatever, and not even like touching their computers because they're able to spend their money on the right things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's good that you're sort of talking about that, because I saw a couple of people also commenting, you know, it's you know, getting the time to sit down, but it makes definitely good sense, you know, handballing the things that you already know what to do. So another thing is, you know, going over the content as well. Like, do you find yourself often going, you know, reading over the content and having to make heaps of adjustments to all that sort of stuff, or, you know, when you hire your content writer, always bang on, or do you have to, you know, go over it and do heaps of adjustments, or what's the sort of story with that? Obviously then.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really touch a lot of the stuff that I do these days. I mean, back in the day when I was doing like iPhone repair, yeah, I would hire people to do content for me, and then I would just reword the content based on like the garbage they sent me for that I paid them for like $4 an hour, and it would still rank. But now I do like I basically just order people around, which is like, hey, you go get the content, you go optimize it, you go like whatever, right? And then I'm just like doing all this stuff where it's like, okay, I'm going to do the lead generation. I'm going to go build these templates. And to be honest with you, a lot of it's really boring, dude. Like, I mean, I love helping you, but you have to be like, know that this is probably like the 200th audit I've done in the last like maybe like 6 months or something, you know? So like at a certain point, it's just like, dude, but I mean, I get content out of it, right? It's part of like the game, right? Like this is like the best thing I can do. Nobody else can be me on YouTube, right? And so like by doing this, I end up getting like more people interested, and it's like, you know, this is part of like what I have to do. But you know, if I could pay somebody else to be me, I probably would, dude. Like at the end of the day, like, you know, it's funny because I have such a weird mindset where I hate having responsibility, but I also love having responsibility. And like I hate it in the fact that like I don't like feeling like I have to feel pressured to do anything, because it like really screws up my own creative mindset. But at the same time, like having responsibility makes me feel like excited. It makes me feel like we're doing stuff. Like it makes me feel like I can share stuff with you. But yeah.
Cool, man. Nah, definitely. I get where you're coming from, and it's like I guess doing stuff like this is you're doing what you have to do. So I appreciate it, man. It's been good, and you know all the advice you're offering. You know, not only myself, but everyone. We all appreciate it. So you know.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, no. If out of anybody, I'm super happy to give you advice too, man. Because like I'm glad that you're making things happen. And it seems like you're all stoked all the time, which is cool.
Man, it's like I guess at the end of the day, like I started doing this as a bit of like a hobby, but now I'm taking other people. So, but it's good.
So what's the plans for the future then, man? You gonna stick to this local website, or what are you gonna do?
Started about two other websites that are just in the works, and just like I'm sure is completely different to what I have now. So I'm just sort of it's just like stepping stones, like writing out things that I'm learning along the way. Like, dude, from now, 3 months ago, if you spoke to me about I wouldn't have known things. So it's just I think it's just a whole learning process, and it's not one of those things you can just pick up in a week.
Right.
It's just you and then write things down, try this, try that, exactly like what you said. So so basically the plans, I guess, and get this site going, but have a couple of other sites coming along the way. You
gonna go national next, or local, or what?
I'm going it'll probably just be like in seriousness, like it'll just be a couple more local. I want to do a couple of ranking and renting for other businesses that I'm not even, something like a removalist hire or something like that, just
right.
to dish it out to another, generate the lead, dish it to someone who's looking for work, stuff like that,
Right.
Yeah, that's probably in the next, 12 months,
Nice.
I'm really just a rookie to this, so.
No, but you're getting it down, man. I mean, honestly, like you're ahead of the curve for most people. Most people can't really, understand a lot of this stuff because it's kind of overwhelming. But, the fact that you're like sticking in there and like, going for it, man, like that's the hardest part, dude. Like with anything, like I just made a video about it. Like it was called Momentum. I think you liked the video. And basically I was just talking about like how freaking hard it is to just stay stoked on stuff. Like for me, dude, like the hardest part for me sometimes is like making that post in Facebook, like, okay, I'm going to do a live audit for somebody or whatever. Cause it's like, it's the last thing I want to do, man. Like I want to go play StarCraft, or I want to do something random, but, I know that I feel better when I go and I actually make something happen, because it's easier to make the next thing happen when something's already rolling. versus like just thinking about it like this is going to be impossible. I'm never going to be able to get this to, you know, to work, and like I don't know like how difficult it's going to be. Like, yeah. So anyways, man.
Hey, dude, I hope you don't mind. I just need to take a sip of water.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, man. It's weird. It keeps interrupting. Like, I don't know.
But you've been doing this for a long time, haven't you?
I mean, not too long, like maybe 3 years.
But like, I'm still in the 6 months, so that's why I'm pumped about it. You know, I'm loving it. I'm loving the life. So, but when you get to like, you know, 3-4 years, you start. You know how it feels anyway. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Anyway. Cool.
Did you have any more questions though, man, about like the whole process I was talking about? Or do you get it?
What you explained straightforward, I think you've really made it obvious that I need to sort of have that benchmarking thing, writing out the keywords, search volume, all that sort of stuff. You know, and then working from there.
At the end of the day, it's more about just like figuring out like how can you replicate what's already working for somebody else. And the best way to do it is really like, one, to make sure that your stuff isn't garbage by looking at your analytics and being like, okay, people are converting, and, you know, does seem like the pages are getting some impressions and clicks, and it seems like people are interacting with the content. That's like step number one. Step number two is then like finding who's like ranking and like what keywords you want to go for, and figuring out like maybe some averages, like, you know, how many words these people have. But at the end of the day, it's more important to figure out how you can templatize what somebody else is doing, meaning like following a similar layout, instead of just like looking at word counts. Word counts are nice. It's easy and it's fast to be able to run a scan and see like what are the top average word counts that you need. But at the end of the day, it's a lot better to just go find your top 5 competitors, see what's working really well for them, and then figure out how fast can you streamline that process, meaning like how can you go into like say for instance Upwork or Writer's Access, wherever, hire somebody for an affordable price, let's like say like $10 an hour, whatever it is, to write you out all these pages with a fast turnaround time, and then get those things published with a similar template or layout, and then use technical SEO, like the stuff that you're learning through all this stuff, to get like a little extra boost from what your competitors probably don't have. But most people do it backwards. They use SEO to get the boost. You need to look at it this way, like SEO is the supplement for your workout plan. That's the protein powder. But nobody goes and starts drinking a bunch of protein and gets buff. They go and work out for like months first.
Yeah. Nah, man. Look, I think out of everything you said, and I think everyone on here will agree that it's about finding someone to write the content, and then you work on the SEO. Like, I think that's what I haven't spent enough time on, and it's evident over here, as you can sort of see. Yeah. And I think, man, now that you've sort of said that, it's just really like changed the game, you know? What the... I think out of everything you said, that's really hit home with me, just because, man, I've been writing content. I've been sitting down writing like hours of content, and like, man, I haven't spent any time doing anything else.
Well, I just want you to think about this next time you like write content. Like, just think to yourself, or anytime you do something next time, just like think about it. Like, just like start like anytime that something takes like more than 3 hours, just like take a second, and you're gonna like hear my voice in the back of your head. It's gonna say, how many other people could do this for you? And I swear it'll change your entire mindset of doing things, dude. Like, it's crazy. Like, my mom and my girlfriend like hate it, because like everything I do, I'm like, well, why don't I just hire somebody for that? And they like go crazy. But it's true. If you have 8 billion people on Earth, or 7 billion, whatever it is, with 2 hands, and that's all that's required to clean a house, why do I need to go do that? Right? I'm not part of those. I don't want to be part of those 7 billion people who are going to get paid the same amount of money, right? You can't get paid more than whatever like minimum wages to clean a house, because there's already, hundreds of thousands of people who will do it for minimum wage. How many people can you pay minimum wage to do heart surgery? Like 0. because nobody's going to be paying minimum prices. Or like when you get a house built, how many people are going to want to spend buy somebody for $5 an hour to build a house? They literally wouldn't buy somebody for that much because they know that if they did, something really bad would happen. So you have to be the guy who is so good at something that nobody else can touch that, whether it's like being a DJ, whatever it is. But if that's what it is, then you figure out how to not spend any time doing anything else, or at least like, half the time, right?
Yeah. Man, I think you need to change the title to life coaching.
Life coaching.
Nah, but man, it's been good. Man, dude, everything you've been saying, it's hitting home. I think, what's everyone thinking in the chat here? Are you guys still listening or?
Let's see. Look at this. Somebody said, "Call me." Look at this. Do you see this?
Does anyone have any more life questions? Like, this isn't just about the SEO here. This is about life as well.
He said, okay, we got one. Steven says, Chase, did you only start to learn SEO 3 years ago, or did you know SEO beforehand and then start doing it for a living? So when I started, I was doing SEO at an IT company because they needed it for a website that they were designing, and I had no idea what it was. And they handed me a book, and I think it was called like the Black Book to SEO or something weird. And I had no idea what it was, and I looked at it, I was like reading it. And literally up until that point, I was like learning all about like server management, like IT, like computers, building computers, all this stuff. And like literally the minute I saw that, the only other time that I got that excited about something was like when I first found out about like World of Warcraft or like some sort of crazy video game. But for some weird reason, like when I found out about SEO, like I freaking like went crazy about it. And I literally like, I've never done this like with really anything else except for like video games. I literally locked myself in a room for like months, and I just started reading like nonstop. And I had this weird mindset where I just like told myself, I was like, dude, I have to be like the Bruce Lee of SEO. Like I have to have that much determination. Like I want to be that good. And I wound up like, huh?
I said I feel you there. I know how you feel.
Yeah. And then I wound up like doing all this stuff. I got hired by an agency, like outranked people, and I got, a YouTube channel, and was like living in a garage with only like $6,000 in my bank account, just trying to like make it happen. And like, then I started getting people like who knew me and like all this stuff. And at a certain point, dude, it was weird. Like the amount of passion that I have for you know what it was? It was the fact that I turned my passion into a job, which is something that I almost regret in a way. I wish I wouldn't have made as much money with SEO, because when I started making money with SEO, I remember the first time I looked at my bank account or it was my PayPal account or whatever. And one day I made like $8,000, and I was in my garage and I was looking at it. And I literally, after that point for like not even maybe like a month, I like couldn't like be motivated. Like I couldn't be motivated. And like ever since then, like it's been hard for me to be as motivated as like I'm still motivated. It's crazy. Like people are like, Chase, you're putting out so much content. And literally like it's nothing compared to like what I used to do. Like I would literally do, Dean, I don't think you saw me back then, but I literally would do, I think 6 to 7 hour long videos a day on SEO. Like no joke. Huh?
No one's good. The only bad thing is like, dude, I try and watch all your videos, but sometimes they just go for that long. Like it's just impossible, man,
Who has time to watch that? Oh, and that's the crazy thing too, is like I wasn't even making money doing it. Like, and I was so happy, dude. Like I was making so many videos, and I was just so happy to like help people for free. And then I started making money, and that's the thing is like once you start making money, it like becomes a job. Like I didn't even want it to be a job. I just wanted to like do what I loved. But like, right. But then I started getting all these people who, dude, it's crazy. Once you start getting good at anything in any industry, and like people start to recognize you as like, an authority or whatever you want to call it, they want to bring you down. And like, I think that has always kind of got to me. Like I haven't tried to let it get to me, but there's just, even if they're telling you nice things about you, or they're just wanting to interact with you or whatever, they still want to bring you down in a, I mean, they don't want to bring you down, but they still bring you down in a way. Like if I get 100 comments in one day, like people would think like, that's awesome. Like, you know, good for you. But that actually is like really exhausting for me, dude. Like I can't handle like, it's hard for me to handle all the opportunity that you get when you start becoming like good at something. Like it was easy for me to just have one route where it's just like, I'm SEO guy. I do this. I don't get paid a lot of money, but I'm happy, versus like I'm SEO guy. I get paid a lot of money and I have all these options and there's like a million shiny objects. Everybody wants to talk to me and like, or not everybody, but a good amount of people. And then it just gets awful, dude, because then it's not even about like me helping people. It's just like, how do I like, you know, it's more about like I have to charge for my time, and it's just it's weird, man.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, man. Like, and I've seen some of the things. Like, I'm not going to sort of names or anything, but like, I can see where you're coming from. You know, with negative comments and dude, it's just half the stuff that, and I think I've messaged you about it. Like half the stuff we read, man, it's just like, it's like, why would you comment that? If you don't have anything good to say, just don't say it, you know. And that's for the people that are watching your stream as well. Like, you know, life lesson here. Like if you have nothing nice to say, maybe just say it to your friend, or you know, like it doesn't need, like, you know.
I think the other thing too, man, is that like if in any circumstance, like if you're not continually following like what you really want, you know, you're not going to be truly happy. And I think the big thing for me, dude, is I always wanted to like, I wanted to be, first of all, known. That was like my first goal. And that happened. But then like when I first left, dude, when I first left the SEO agency, my goal was not to become SEO guy. My goal was to become motivation guy. And I just told myself I would make enough, I would do SEO in order to make enough money to do like be motivation guy. But then I never wound up getting around to doing that because like I got good enough at SEO that I started making money, and then it became about the money, which I don't even know why it became about the money. I just like used it as like a goal because that was like something that worked for me. Now I'm trying to kind of get back to the other role and like kind of be both, but it's hard to transition when you already know something so well. So again, it's like the whole mentality of having so many options that, or at least having a few options more than usual, like than most people have, that makes it hard to like, you know, figure out like, is that really what I want to do? Like, you know, and because anything that you like really want to do, it takes time to figure out whether or not you really want to do it. Like you might think that you want to do it, but when it comes down to it, like, you know, a year or two from now and you're still doing it and you realize, dude, this isn't me. Well, was it worth doing all that stuff? But then it comes down to momentum, right? At the end of the day, it's more important to just like put yourself out there and do something. That's why I'm on this call right now. The only reason I post on Facebook, dude, the last thing I want to do, not because I didn't want to talk to you, Dean, just because like I just didn't really want to do the call with anybody because I would rather just stay, you know, happy in my own little world where I'm like, you know, watching YouTube videos or whatever it is. Yeah. But I know that by putting myself out there and creating momentum and doing the thing just a little bit at a time of what I don't want to do, because I know there's certain things that I really don't want to do, like for instance, going and writing content, but that's just like, that's optional, right? But then there's things that I don't want to do, but I know I really want to do. Like, let's say going, like, the thing is that you can't ignore what you really want. If you really, really want something, it's your mission to go get that thing, because otherwise you're going to be spending the rest of your life thinking about whether or not, you know, you could have got that thing. And it's always going to be there. It's going to be distracting you. And now everything else is going to seem like not as important. So the best way to figure out whether or not you want something. I remember this guy was talking to me about his kid. He's super obsessed with Fortnite. And
Fortnite.
And he plays like he plays like, yeah, I play. I don't really like it, but I play a game that's similar to it that I like. But anyways, he was talking about how his kid plays like 20 hours a day and he's just obsessed with it. He doesn't do anything else besides it. And I'm like, I started thinking about it. I wanted to figure out like why, like, cause I've always had that same sort of mentality. Like I just go and play like hundreds of hours of video games. And I thought to myself, I said, you know, I think the reason why people get so obsessed, like for instance, this kid, right? He wants to be the best, right? And he doesn't want to just be the best. He wants to be like known like these streamers out there, like, you know, the people are making millions of dollars. And like, and then I thought like, huh?
Like the best, man. Like he wants to be like on it.
Right. And then I thought to myself, like somebody who's in that similar mindset, like, how did I figure out that like my main thing, like, wasn't just SEO. It's more like marketing, you know, SEO, like motivation, all this stuff, right? Yeah. And then I realized it's because it's through the fact that I went through all this stuff to realize that what I did and didn't want. So, and then I thought about, okay, if this was my kid, how would I fix this? Like, cause you know, obviously it's a problem to play 20 hours videos games a day, especially if you don't have anything else going for you. Like I've been through that, but I've also been through it while I've been making money, which is a little bit different. So anyways, I realized like, this is what I would do. I would take the kid, I would say, hey, look, we're going to make you into that streamer and you're going to have to do everything that that guy has to do, or at least had to do to get to that point. So you're going to have to do video editing. You're going to have to do voice acting. You're going to have to do, you know, acting class, whatever it is that took, because I don't know what that, you know, person did, but most of these people are either really funny or we're going to have to figure out how many hours that guy plays a day. Maybe he plays 24 hours a day and you have to up your hour count, right? And then we have to decipher whether or not you can actually spend that much time doing it, right? So it's more important, I think, to just like go and experience a lifestyle that you think you want than it is to just think about it the whole time. And like for instance, today, I just did my first video, like vlog, like in a while. And it was like this camera I got, and I didn't want to do it because I like don't know how video editing is going to work. I don't know how how the video is going to turn out. I've been like thinking about it forever. I've always wanted to I keep wanting to do this vlog. I finally did it. And like, dude, the whole thought of it, like the fantasy of how hard or like difficult or any of that stuff was going to be was so much more like was so much farther off than like how actually hard it was. Like it was literally like, okay, I'm just going to do like 3 different shots, talk about this, talk about that. And like super easy. And now like I'm already thinking of new ways to get to the next step, right? What's the next level of that? How do I learn better editing? But otherwise, like me, like rewind like 3 months ago, I'm just thinking about it for like hours. Like, okay, I need to take all these courses. I need to buy a $4,000 gaming computer. I need to do all this crazy stuff, right? That had nothing to do with like actually how difficult it was. So
yeah, no, I feel you, man. Like definitely, yeah, man. This has been mint. This has been good. It's been a good chat.
Yeah. I'll let you go, man. I didn't mean to keep you a prisoner for this long.
I've at this point, man, we can yeah. I mean, depends what you want to do. If you want to end it here or what.
Yeah, I'll end it, man. I appreciate the call, man.
It's good times, eh?
Yeah, it's good times. We got to do it again sometime, man.
I think, dude, I think everyone watching this video has just appreciated everything that you've sort of said about the, like, dude, it's not just about SEO, dude. SEO, it's, you know, for some it's life as well, you know, like putting them both in. But I think the main thing to get out of this is, you know, stop writing content, get someone else to do it for you, and then you do the real stuff that needs to be done.
If you want, or write the content if you really want. I mean, you can still write the content. It just depends on like, you know, how much time you want to spend on this stuff, man. I don't even know. At the end of the day, dude, it just really depends on like what you want. Like if you want to rank that site, you're gonna rank it, man. But it really just depends on, huh?
Looking at a deeper level, man. For the people watching this after this video, man, just go and do it.
No, but the thing is, man, is like if you do want to do it, like I said, the best way to do it is just to find somebody, man. Find somebody who's way better in your niche than you are. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, dude, I can't tell you for sure whether or not something's going to work in your niche or not because I don't know it that well. But if you were to come to me with a computer repair site, I could tell you exactly all the URLs you would need, all the pages, what the content would look like. I would be like, why aren't you mentioning virus removal on this page? Because I know that industry. and I could hire content writers for that. But you're at a place where you're like ranking 3 pages and you need to go out and find somebody who's ranking 20 pages and go study the hell out of that and then go hire people to create you what you need based off that, so you don't have to spend all your time doing that unless you have the time. That's the thing, is if you have time, which I don't know how much your time's worth to you, but to me, I think my time's worth at least like 100 to 200 an hour. And if that's true, then why am I spending $200 an hour on content that I'm not even that good at writing when I could be spending like $10 an hour on somebody who could write like 100 times better content than me while I'm going out and making that money? That's the thing that you need to like think about.
Yeah, man, 100%. Like, dude, I've got nothing else to say. You've nailed it, man. Seriously.
Sweet.
It's been all right, man. Well, we're gonna have something to end this video. You know, like, you know,
celebration.
At the start, SEO pros. At the end, what are we gonna say?
We need to get a little DJ end set outro from you. That's what I want you to do one of these days. Just come on the channel while I'm like talking, like one of my live sessions, and instead of me playing like YouTube music in the background, you're just like DJing the whole time.
Dude, I don't want to vent about. Look, dude, it's become to what you feel about SEO. It's like how I feel about DJing. Do you know what I'm sort of saying?
That's how I used to be, though, dude. You don't even know this about me. I used to be as crazy as I am about SEO, about DJing.
And I was the thing. I was 14 when I started. I was like, man, dude, I'm a DJ. Look at me, guys. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I can. But now, like, man, I'm 20. Like, I'm doing it to, like, I don't want to say this like in a negative way, but you know, I'm doing it for a bit of extra cash. You know, like I'm still studying. I'm trying to get this SEO. You know, on the other hand, I'm working as a DJ on the weekends at weddings. You know, I'm standing there at weddings thinking, man, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
You know, so like people get the impression of me like that I love doing it, and some people look at you as well and they say, hey man, dude, this guy, he loves being an SEO pro. He loves it. You know, this guy is an SEO pro. But what they realize is exactly what we're saying. When you start making money off it and you start making a decent amount of money, you know, for doing what you're doing, it's not about you just lost the passion, you know? You already outlined that.
Well, and it's a completely different scenario. Like if you're doing, like, for instance, DJing for like a huge crowd of awesome people playing the type of music you want, where you're just feeding off that energy. And same thing with SEO. It's a completely different story if I'm doing like, you know, back-to-back like templates for my managing agency, what I have to do to make money, versus me like going out and just like doing all these YouTube videos for everybody, and everybody's just like, yeah, there's like hundreds of people watching. I'm like ranking a website. It's like super exciting, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
It's a completely different ball game. Like when you're passionate, it's generally like when like you're actually doing like your terms, right? It's not just whenever you're making money, it's like on other people's terms generally, a little bit at least.
Exactly. Well, exactly. Yeah, that's correct. So I mean, man, ask me to do a DJ set in ending that, I'll do it for you, but ask me, please. Leave me alone. Just leave Brittany alone.
Dude, I have a $800 Denon mixer in my closet. I should bring it out one of these days. I'll just come on live stream. I'll be like posting Facebook. You'll see a notification. I'll just be like,
so man, you're well ahead of me already. Oh man, dude. Hey man, we'll definitely do this again because man, I think we've got the audience, you know, listening, and dude, for the people out there watching, we've got 11 people here. Seriously, I just want to say one thing. Get off this video. Forget about the content. Optimize whatever you have to do. Start benchmarking today. Dude, you've made it that easy for us that you've already made a plugin, an application for us. Dude, all you have to do, seriously, is just either go on console, do it yourself, or buy, you know, the Chase Ranker. That's all. That's all you have. Seriously, like, guys, come on. Anyway, how do you want to end this, Chase? You got anything to say?
That's it for me, man. Just keep on keep on keeping on, man. Don't give up. That's the biggest point here. It's just anytime something seems scary, it means you're going in the right direction.
And, dude, life lessons, man. Seriously, change. Like, I hope you do change this I hope you do change the description on this YouTube.
Life SEO coaching.
All right, man. Hey, take it easy. Yeah, man. We'll keep in touch, eh?
All right, man.
All right, man. Thank you so much again. Seriously, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And dude, you spent an hour of your time. Seriously, thank you so much, man.
Most definitely. I'll talk to you later, man.
Man.
All right. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for stopping by. And as usual, till I see y'all next time, happy SEO.